Apart from hitting your pinky toe in the corner of a furniture, the worst thing that could happen to you is have Blender crash while you're working on your projects. So in this video, I'm going to show you a few ways to improve your Blender project speed and improve your viewport performance and generally help you run your scenes a lot faster and avoid the dreaded Blender crashes. Now, this tutorial is actually taken out from my Minecraft Animation Masterclass course. It's a small chapter from there, and if you want to check out the full thing, if you want to learn fast and also support the channel in the process, then I will leave a link for it in the description. Now, let's begin. First thing we need to do is obviously go inside the render settings, scroll down, and enable simplify. Once you enable simplify, make sure to expand this menu, turn this down to 0, max subdivisions, and also turn down the child particles to 0. Now, if you want to see some subdivisions in the particles while you're working on your scenes, you can enable them temporarily, but I recommend you to keep these off the majority of the time. After you do that, I recommend you to go to the viewport sampling and turn this down to something like 10 because we don't need high samples while we're working on the viewport. And for testing purposes, I recommend to turn the render settings down. And if you want to render the animation, then you can crank these up to 100 or 200 or more once you're ready to render the full thing. Then go to playback, and instead of play every frame, I'm going to click this and then change this to frame dropping. That will actually tell Blender to drop some frames and play the animation as smoothly as possible without lagging in the scene. And now we're going to jump to the chapter, which is taken out straight from the course, and it will show you how to optimize your scene, organize the outliner, and also divide your world into different chunks so you can actually animate a lot smoother and faster. So let's jump right in. Now, before we import characters or assets or any other things, I recommend to first organize the outliner so that we know what is where, and then we can locate them later on pretty easily. So let's do just that. What I recommend you to do is go on the right side towards the outliner. Let's expand this by clicking here and dragging this down, and let's create a few collections. So first, hover over this empty area, right click, click on new collection, and let's actually create a collection for map. So I'm simply going to name this map with caps so that I know that my map is right around here. Then, when we're working with the map, I usually like to divide this and move the vegetation, which are like grass, leaves, flowers, in a separate collection. So what I'm going to do now is create a separate collection for the vegetation. So right click again, click on new collection, double click, and let's type vegetation. Or you can name this whatever you want. Then the third collection I want to create is for characters. So I'm going to right click, new collection, and then let's create characters collection. After that, I would like to create studio. So in the studio, I'm going to have the camera, I'm going to have all my lights and just everything else I need for animation, my empties and all that stuff. Now I'm going to right click. So don't right click here because it's going to create a collection inside the characters collection. So right click on an empty area, new collection, and let's do studio. And finally, we can create other collections. For example, you can create an effects collection where you're going to drag and drop your effects and particle effects and geometry nodes effects. But since we're not going to be using that, we're not going to do that. Or you could also create an effect for background. So let's say you don't like the edge of the map. Let's say you have a camera here, and then you see the edge of the map right here. You can actually take like background trees that your friend sent you or that you made, and actually drag and drop them here and then place them in a background collection. But again, we're not going to be doing that. We're going to keep it simple. So all we have to do is create these 4 collections and then organize them. And if we need an extra collection later, we can do it later on. Now I'm going to color code these collections so that they're recognizable and it looks more fun. So I'm going to go to map, right click, and then let's choose, for example, a brown color. Then for the vegetation, I'm going to right click and choose a green color. Then for characters, I can right click and let's choose like an orangey color, for example. And then for studio, I can right click and let's choose a yellow color, for example. You can pick any colors you want. Now, once it's organized, as you can see, I already have 2 collections. I have a default collection that Blender created, and I have a collection which Mineways created. This is a map, basically. So now what I like to do is take the Mineways World Wood Plank map, which is basically the map we imported right here. Take this collection and then drag and drop this inside the map like this. Now, I want to take the camera as well. Select this and then drag and drop this inside Studio. And that's it. We can take the scene collection, which is the default by Blender, and I can actually right click and then click on delete. And that's it. Now I'm going to shrink the map, collapse this, collapse the studio. Now here's why it's great to organize collections. So if I quickly want to hide the map and focus on my characters, I can actually hide the map and that's it. Or I can re-enable the map and work on it. I can also hide the studio if I want to hide my camera and so on. If I want to hide my characters because the scene is laggy, I can hide my characters and so on. So that's how you can quickly organize your animation via the outliner. And once we import the characters and assets, we know in which collection they're going to be, and they will be easier to locate in the future. Now let me show you another thing which you can do to optimize the world, especially if your world is way too big. So this world is pretty small and I think it's going to run well on the systems, but first thing I like to do is I like to separate the vegetation from the actual world. So now that we've organized the collections right here, I can actually take this, for example, birch leaves collection. Now, once I select the leaves, I want to move them to the vegetation. So I'm going to press on M and then move them to vegetation. Now, if I hide vegetation right here, you can see the birch leaves are hidden, which is very good to save performance while we're animating. Because when we're animating, we don't need to see everything. We can re-enable them before we start rendering. And while we're rendering, everything is going to be visible again. Now, I'm going to do the same thing for the oak leaves. So I'll select the oak leaves, M, move to vegetation. And I'm going to do the same thing for the remaining vegetation. So I'm going to select the grass, press on M, and then move it in the vegetation. And let's see if I have any other vegetation left in the scene. I'm going to select these flowers as well. And you can either move them in the vegetation collection, but since they're all the way back here and they're not going to be visible inside the animation, we can just press on X and delete them because it's not going to be visible. Similarly here, these wind flowers are not going to be visible, so you can press on X and delete them because we planned our animation over here and then we're not going to take the camera and move it here. So it doesn't make sense to keep them in the scene. I usually like to delete whatever I don't see in the scene, so you can just delete them. Now, if you want to re-enable your vegetation, it's pretty simple. Just click here and now it's going to be enabled. And now I usually like to press on Alt-A to deselect everything, and that's pretty much it. And now the last thing I want to show you, the last more advanced optimization is if you have a large map, you definitely need to hide some chunks of the map while you're animating because you don't need the whole map while you're animating. Now let me show you a cool way of how you can hide some parts of the map. So while we're animating, we're definitely going to need this area somewhere over here because this is where the action is going to happen. But if I click on numpad 7 and go to top view, there are actually some areas which I don't need during production. So I don't need this whole area, right? I don't need to see this whole area while I'm animating. So once I'm in the top-down view, what I like to do is I need to press on A to select everything. Then I need to shift and select one of the meshes. So for example, I'm going to shift, left-click, select the ground. And now what we can do is I can press on Tab to go inside edit mode. And if you have a weak PC, this might lag. So feel free to just ignore the step if it lags too much. And now what we can do is go inside the X-ray view so that we can see through everything. So click on this X-ray button or alternatively click on Alt-Z. Now once you press on Alt-Z, make sure you're in the face selection mode. So if you're here, switch to face selection mode. Now zoom out and I can actually take this entire chunk. So I can press on B, box select this, drag this entire chunk. And now I can press on P and then separate this by selection. Now it might lag again. And now what we did is I'm going to turn off X-ray view. I'm going to turn off the edit mode. And now what we did is basically we separated the chunk from this to this. So now if I go to edit mode and if I select the leaves, you can see it no longer select all the leaves. It doesn't select the leaves here. It selects the leaves right around here and here. And they are basically two separate collections. Similarly to the grass, if I select the grass, for example, the grass blocks, they're going to be selected here, but not here. And that's a great way to optimize the scene. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another collection. So right click, new collection, and let's name this map_extras so that we can drag and drop the map extras and then hide them during the production. So I'm going to right click, pick any color you want. I'm going to give it a color of the map so that I'm not confused. So now I'm going to minimize the map vegetation, take the map extras, and then drag it up like this until you see this line. Drag it below the map. So now what I can do is select the leaves, which is on the side, press on M, and then move it inside the map extras. And now I can hide map extras so that I can save some performance time. Similarly, I can do the same thing with other blocks. So select the leaves, M, map extras. But if you want to move everything together, you can actually zoom out, click on B to box select it, drag it, and now it's going to select everything on this side. So now what we can do is we can press on M, go to map extras, and bam, that's pretty much it. It just moved everything inside map extras. And while we're animating, we're going to save a lot of viewport performance time. And that's very, very good. Now, similarly, I can click on vegetation, hide vegetation. And there you go. I'm only going to be able to see this. I know this looks weird right now, but it's okay if it looks weird to us as animators. The main thing is that we can re-enable these collections later. We can render them and the viewers will be able to see everything pretty much. But when you're animating, you don't need to see everything. Especially if you have a weak PC, it's good to hide these collections and know how to organize them.